Hi, welcome back to our channel, Two Brothers Opinions. So, on our previous, this is going to be part two.
Part two, yes.
Of the Las Vegas shooter.
Yes.
We had a little technical difficulties.
Yeah.
So that's why it kind of ended abruptly.
Yes,
And we wanted to put something out.
Yeah, we did. So the way to fix it, because we're not that technologically advanced there,
Yeah,
is we named it part one.
So,
This
just
is part dos.
deuce. So quickly, we went over some things with the Las Vegas shooter, who he was, what his possible motive might have been. We don't really know. We covered Saudi Arabia a little bit in that.
Yep. And what some people in the area were saying was going on. The
Other shooters, different locations.
right, and the disappearance of some witnesses.
Yeah, we talked about 8 witnesses within a month died mysteriously.
Yeah.
Heart attack, whatever. We kind of left off with the blood coagulation, 2 different types of bloods, 2 different colors rather.
Yep, and blood spatter being inconsistent, possibly.
With a headshot.
Yeah.
Self-inflicted
Self-inflicted,
headshot.
yep.
And one of the things that, excuse me, we were just talking about that I brought up is time of death.
Right.
I mean, they would actually put a thermometer in the liver, and by the temperature of the liver, they have a approximation of when he died.
Right.
So now, one of the things was he alive or dead when this shooting went on? Because of the way, the position of his body and the way he was laying on one of the weapons.
Right, yeah. It was laying across his legs or something. It was some weird thing.
Yeah.
Like, almost like it was placed. I think the video we watched was that it looked like it was placed
Looked like it was placed there, correct. And one of the things, too, I want to bring up is the video. I mean, you can go on YouTube and check it out. If you put in female taxi driver, Mandalay Bay, you'll hear the automatic gunfire in the background.
Right. And that's kind of like where we want to pick it up now, right?
Yeah, because they were saying he was using a bump stock. Well, if anybody knows firearms, you can't use a bump stock with a bipod.
Right.
It has to be held.
Right.
For the bump stock to work.
Yeah, literally for it to, like, bump. It has to bump into something.
Correct.
Yeah.
And a bipod would stop that.
Yep.
So, I was living in Phoenix when this happened. And in my apartment complex, I was on the first, was I in the first floor? Yeah, I was on the second floor.
Second, yeah.
So the first floor, a few doors down from me, was a guy that was in Iraq. And he said, Barry, he goes, I sent that video, the one we were talking about, the female taxi driver. He said, I sent that to some of my buddies. We were all in combat.
Yeah.
He goes, that's a 240 Bravo. That's a fully automatic belt-fed machine gun.
Right.
The sound is exactly the same. As a matter of fact, I showed my brother a video. We watched the video of the taxi driver, and then I stopped it, and then went to a video of a guy firing a 240 Bravo.
Yep.
And he goes, that sounds exactly the same.
Exactly the same. I mean, yeah, to the untrained ear, even just listening to it, it's like that's the same gun.
And here is a guy that I know that was a combat vet.
Who says
talking to his friends that are combat vets that were in Iraq, saying that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And there was not one in the room when they went inside.
Yeah. And yet you see the ignorant media saying things, even in the recent shooting in Minneapolis, talking about, oh, it was an automatic gun. No, they don't know the difference between automatic and semi-automatic. I watched this one thing where the guy says, oh yeah, you pull the trigger and it just keeps shooting. I'm like, no, it doesn't.
Not on a semi-automatic.
Morons.
It does not.
Yeah, but that sound was a machine gun. Like what we would say, like, oh, that sounds like a machine gun, you know?
Fully automatic.
Yeah.
It's you can't differentiate.
Right. So if he so if you just look at it, so if he had all his guns, I think we said we had like 24 in the room. None of them were fully automatic.
Not a one.
And there's a gunshot to his head, self-inflicted, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Who else was shooting? This other machine gun.
Who?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. And there were 2 windows broken out in his apartment, or that floor. There were 2 windows. Like, was the shooting coming out of both windows?
Right.
There's, and
And why did it take SWAT over an hour to enter the room? From the time that the gunfire started happening, it took him over an hour to get him to go in that room.
Yeah.
And then he was already dead.
Right.
And they didn't release when he died.
Right.
They just said, yeah, we found him dead, self-inflicted headshot, and it's over.
Yep. And it's over, and like we said in the last video, it's over until the next big thing happens.
Right.
And then everybody forgets about it.
And then I also want to bring up the sheriff.
Oh, right.
So the sheriff, I forget his name. I'd have to look it up.
Deputy Dog.
It's easy to find because now he's the governor of Nevada. Mm-hmm. So that sheriff, after this happened and it was investigated, he left and quit that job. And just so happens, he turns up the sheriff in Maui. And what happened in Maui?
I don't know. It was hot there, though.
Yeah, it burned a lot of properties.
Yeah.
And he was the sheriff there. And there's a lot of conspiracy theories about that. There's a lot of rich people. Oprah's house in the area wasn't touched. Everybody, they've been trying to buy that property for years. Now all of a sudden, it's all on fire, leveled.
Yep.
And still, these people have not been compensated for that.
Yeah. And then
Now he disappears and he's the governor of Nevada now.
well, back in the area, right?
Back in the area.
Who is? Yeah, because I don't. I mean, who? It's almost like, who is this guy?
Exactly.
All we know is sheriff, now governor. That's all.
Sheriff, governor, and 2 massive incidents with a ton of conspiracy theories behind them.
Well, and I think I said to you, we were talking about that what's the coincidence that you go from one place to another place, a massive event. It's like, I mean, either you have really bad luck or you know something.
And he knows something. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
So, Las Vegas shooter. Again, it's just, there's so many unanswered questions and you don't hear. There's a ton of videos out there. We're not the only one. We just happened to talk about it one day. I was like, whatever happened in Las Vegas?
Yeah.
And then we started looking into it.
And then didn't you just bring up the Murtha building the other day? Something about that?
Oh, yeah. The Oklahoma bombing. I saw that there was evidence in that building, because now remember, FBI was in that building, and I think there was another 3-letter organization, but I'm not sure. And there was a ton of evidence that they were going to bring Hillary Clinton to trial for some of the stuff that she's been doing.
Right.
It's all gone.
Because it was in that building,
Because it was in that building.
And that building blown up. Right.
All the evidence destroyed. Now that brings me to another thing.
I know where you're going with this one.
The Pentagon.
Yep.
When the Pentagon was hit by a so-called 757, that a ton of pilots that fly 757 said that they could never do those maneuvers and get that plane to go into the Pentagon at that level.
No, and I told you, I've driven by there on the highway. You can't be at that level. You'd be under, either hitting the highway or under the highway. You would have to be coming in at a steep angle to get that building.
And then would never be able to pull up in time.
No.
To hit that exact spot.
Where
there was $2.3 trillion was missing out of I believe it's the defense budget. All the evidence was in the exact spot where that so-called plane, which I think it was a missile, cruise missile, hit and destroyed all that evidence.
Again, coincidence?
So that plane just happened to hit that exact spot. Now the Pentagon is not a small building.
No.
It's huge.
Have you ever seen it?
I only seen it, pictures.
Oh, drive by it sometime. Holy cow. It takes up like blocks and blocks and blocks. I mean, it's a big piece of property.
So it hit the building. It hit the building the exact spot where there was paperwork and hard drives. gathering, all evidence gathered of where this money went. Now it's gone. It's Donald Rumsfeld was the guy that talked about it, that said that there was all this money missing. And I think he had something to do with 9/11 myself.
Oh, they all have something to do with everything. It's ridiculous.
Because he had something to do with Raytheon. And Raytheon is a huge arms manufacturer. And how do you fight a war?
Well, you need to produce more arms,
More arms.
more money.
More money, and if you invested in it early enough,
Yep, stock goes up.
and so does your
Portfolio,
bank account.
your portfolio. Yeah.
So it's all a vicious cycle.
Well, there was, and even just like going on a little bit of a tangent here. The other day they were talking about more. John Solomon on Just the News was talking about it, that there's more and more evidence as to why James Comey came out and said, no prosecutor would, well, he knows that he said there was evidence that Hillary Clinton had another server, but that no prosecutor in their right mind basically would even go after her. So he just dropped the whole thing.
And that's just a server, unsecured server in her residence.
Yeah, it was in a
She was
closet.
going back and forth with Obama.
Right. Well, John Solomon comes out and says that the reason that Comey didn't go after that, because he and other people in the FBI had their own servers and were sending stuff, leaking information to the media.
Unsecured servers.
Yep. That's why he didn't go, because if they were looking, they'd start looking everywhere.
at him.
They'd start looking everywhere.
Yeah, it would follow right back to him. And Barr, right?
Oh, yeah. Barr, well, because, at the time, because not at that time, now Trump is in office.
Mm-hmm.
His first
First term.
right. So who was his attorney general? Well, Jeff Sessions, but who wasn't there very long.
No.
Maybe a year.
If that.
And Bill Barr came in after him.
Yep.
Both of them were involved in wiping that clean.
Maybe Jeff Sessions had a reason to get out when he was the.
Well,
when
could
he
be.
was, yeah.
Maybe he wasn't just incompetent or wouldn't go after certain things when maybe he knew things, and he's like, because it's all like in Washington D.C. They're all up each other's ass, and
Absolutely.
and if you go after me, I'm going to go after you because we're all crooked.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's like, well, nobody goes after anybody, and average Americans sit there and go, why aren't people going to jail? Because you can walk down the street and jaywalk and you're going to jail.
You're going to jail.
And these people are stealing money, they're corrupt, they're breaking all kinds of laws, and everybody's just like,
That's okay.
Yeah.
See, what people don't realize is Trump's first term, he came into office not knowing anything
Right.
how DC operated.
Nope.
He thought he knew how DC operated,
Yeah.
but he was taking,
taking advice
from all the wrong people.
right, people that he thought he could trust, and they were like, hey, you need to get this person into this position.
Like Jeff Sessions and a few other people.
Right.
And they were dirty too.
Yep. They're all dirty.
Now, he's not taking their advice.
No. And he's putting people in there that he knows and trusts. Mm-hmm. And now all of a sudden, Washington, D.C. is up in arms because
Both sides.
they're going to get caught.
Yep.
If everything gets processed through, there's people going
And
to
he has
get...
nothing to lose.
There's
He
people
can't
gonna
run
get,
again.
Right, there's people going to get caught.
He can't run again.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
This all just keeps going back in this vicious cycle. I keep saying that, but it's so true.
Well, and it's funny that a lot of that stuff, even you go back to Benghazi, and Hillary Clinton's involved in everything.
Everything.
And there are...
And Obama.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Obama. If you guys want to go back and look at the Crossfire Hurricane, the whole thing that started the first impeachment and everything else, there was evidence that Russia had nothing to do with Trump in terms of the first
Nothing.
Right, the first
first
election. The FBI had stuff and basically went in and said, "There's no evidence. We have nothing. We have nothing to tie him to it." As a matter of fact, I heard the other day that right before the election, Russia pulled out of any kind of propaganda because they didn't care who won. And as a matter of fact, they probably would have wanted Hillary in because they had more crap on her. But
Isn't she the one that sold uranium?
yeah, And she's also the one who went to Russia with the big button, the reset button.
The reset button.
Because she wanted to reset, because they're all crooked.
And who was the Moscow mayor? There was a lot of money involved there changing hands.
But the mayor also gave Biden, either Biden or Biden's son,
money.
It was diamonds, I think it was.
Diamonds.
I think it was diamonds.
Money.
Yeah. And then who was, again, we're getting like way off of the Las Vegas thing, but still it's like.
But this is all related.
Yeah, right, it is. It is all related. So there's just so much that. But anyways, going back to Obama, there was a meeting. They have meetings where they brief, there's briefings. Mm-hmm. So they came in and they briefed him. They briefed Obama that they're going to have to release that Russia didn't have any interference in that election. He then says, don't release it. We need to rewrite this. And they rewrote it to make it look like Russia did have something to do with it. And and there's evidence. It's not me talking. It's not conspiracy. John Solomon, who is a straight shooter.
Investigative reporter.
He just investigates. He doesn't care what side he's investigating. They have evidence, notes from those meetings that Obama was like, write it different.
Yep.
Make it, basically rewrite it. And they did. Yep. They rewrote it. Then it was that FBI agent who went to the FISA court and changed, I think it was Carter Page. They changed his testimony. And that guy just got a slap on the wrist.
We do that, we're in jail.
Yeah. You go to court and you lie. You swear to tell the truth. You lie, you perjury, you're in jail.
You're in jail.
This guy changed someone's deposition. Mm-hmm. Anyways.
But anyhow, getting back to the Vegas shooter.
Yeah, we're never going to find out.
We're never going to know.
No, like everything else, JFK and everything else, we're never going to know the truth. I don't think they trust the American people to be able to handle it. And I think we could handle it.
Yeah. Most people believe that JFK was shot by and killed by our own government anyhow.
Yeah.
And there's evidence. Some of the stuff that was released, unredacted and released, shows the CIA with the Cubans, with the Italian mafia, had something to do with killing JFK.
Yeah.
All because of the way he talked. He wanted to get rid of the CIA and he wanted to bring the money back on the silver standard. Right. Not the gold standard, but put it on the silver standard.
Yeah.
And what did they do to him?
Well, and then, and I don't think enough people...
And stay out of wars.
And I don't know if we want to, if someday do Watergate, because there's an awful lot of stuff about Watergate that they set Nixon up.
Oh, absolutely they did. He took the fall.
Yeah, they set him up. So, and I remember living through that. I was too young, but I remember watching...
I'm not a crook.
Well, no, but I remember watching the congressional hearings. And all the guys Ehrlichman and all those guys testifying. At the time, I wasn't really into politics, so I just kind of watched it and was like, whatever, But it'd be curious to go back and watch those and see exactly what happened.
The reporter, one of the reporters, very well known about the Watergate, and it was all BS. He didn't know nothing.
Woodward and Bernstein? You mean?
Yeah, jerks. Yeah. They didn't know nothing.
Yeah, one of them, I forgot, one of them actually worked for, it was a government agency at one time. I don't know if it was CIA, FBI, somebody. He
worked for him.
Yeah.
I think it was CIA.
And they put him into the, was it the Washington Post?
Yes. The Post.
Yeah. Anyways. So when it comes to the Vegas thing, we gave you some basic stuff. There's stuff that we always say, go back and look it up. But watch that video of the
female taxi driver.
The female taxi cab driver.
You'll hear the gunfire.
You'll hear it. And if anyone's ever watched a movie where there was gunfire, you know the difference between a shotgun, a rifle, where you have to pull the trigger every single time.
Yeah, semi-automatic.
And
a machine gun.
And a machine gun. Because nobody's finger's that fast.
No.
You can't.
And like I said, bump stocks don't work with a bipod.
Yeah.
They had it set up, a bipod with a bump stock.
Yeah.
You cannot work. The two don't go together.
Yeah.
But the news, bump stocks, get rid of bump stocks.
Yeah, well, that's always
the thing.
That's
did
always
nothing because someone had a machine gun in that room.
I think I told you once there was an interview where they had, I think it was like four girls, women, probably college age maybe, and they asked them about gun control, and all four were like, guns are bad. So the guy interviewing him said, "Who would be willing to go with me and I'll teach you how to shoot?" Well, 2 of the 4 actually did. They were like,
Okay.
"Yeah, we'll try it." They were probably college age, 22, 21. So they went with him and they shot. And and at the end they were like, "This is kind of cool." And actually, I think one of the 2 was going to go get her pistol permit. Now, before all that, they were all like, "Oh, guns are bad."
Guns are bad.
And now you got 2 of them were like, "This is kind of cool," and one of them was going to get a pistol permit.
See how views change really quick
Yeah.
when you actually know what you're doing.
Yeah, and when you're watching the media and they're talking about, either bump stocks or automatic rifles or
Assault weapon. They don't even know what it is, an assault weapon.
a hammer's an assault weapon.
You could kill anybody with anything. Actually, more people are killed with blunt objects than with guns.
Yeah.
So you're going to outlaw hammers? Screwdrivers?
Oh, didn't they? I think it was in England where when they basically outlawed guns. The knives, yeah. The stabbings that went on, the murders and stuff by knives skyrocketed.
Yep. So you're going to outlaw knives now too?
Yeah. and a good example of why or how guns can actually be safe is look what's going on in Washington, D.C. They bring in the National Guard with the FBI, Border Patrol.
ICE is there.
They're all there, like the police and everybody else. Everybody's there. Now we're up to I think it's just over 2 weeks, no murders.
No murders. And they were, and it was the past 20 years, every other day there was a murder in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
For 20 years.
Yeah. And carjackings are way down. Muggings are way down.
Ridiculous.
Everything is way down. Because they're like, I'm not gonna do something like that.
Yeah.
And either go to jail or get shot.
Yeah.
By people that are protecting other people.
Like when I lived in Arizona and I would hear of a home invasion, you gotta be a nut to do a home invasion in Arizona. Yeah. Everyone has guns in their house. Yeah. I'm literally everyone has a gun in their house.
Yeah.
And you're doing home invasions. You're a nut.
Yeah.
That's asking to be dead.
Yeah. And then you got the idiot mayor of Chicago and the governor of Chicago that are fighting to keep the National Guard out. Mm-hmm. Which, if Trump were to declare a national emergency, he could still put him in, even though
absolutely
he can't do what he did in D.C. because D.C. is a federal area and he can just do it. But he could declare it a national emergency and still put the National Guard.
Isn't that funny how Democrats don't want safe neighborhoods?
No, they want people.
They want your vote.
They want your vote, but they want
your taxes.
They want you to die. They want you to get raped. They want you to get your car stolen.
Yeah,
that's what they want.
But they don't want you protected.
No. And I think I just saw it today. Already there were, I think, six people killed in Chicago because this is the Labor Day weekend. Yesterday, so Saturday, right?
Yeah.
There was already 6 people killed.
And they have the strictest gun laws in the United States.
Yeah.
So how are people? Were they blunt instruments?
No, I didn't read the whole article, but it doesn't matter.
They're probably shot.
They're probably shot.
Because, once again, bumper sticker terminology, when guns are outlawed, only outlaws will have guns.
Yep.
You might think it's a stupid statement, and it would come off a bumper sticker, but it's the damn truth.
Because why are criminals in jail? Because they break the law. They don't care about the law.
No.
They're like, law, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. We're happy there's no strict gun laws.
Yeah.
Now no one has guns.
Right.
We could rob them with our guns that we got illegally.
There was a thing a few years ago where somebody went into a church, I think it was, in Texas. And they came with a gun, and everybody in the pew stood up and had guns.
Shot him.
Killed the guy.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, good.
I mean, all right, do we support everybody shooting everybody? No.
Of course not.
But you know what? For both of us, if anybody were to try to harm either us or one of our family members,
while we're
there,
they're getting shot.
And then I'll deal with it later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Better be judged by 12 than carried by 6.
Well, and the other thing is, do we want to do that? No.
No.
I mean, anytime you go for like a pistol permit or anything like that,
it's a huge responsibility.
one of the first things they tell you is you don't want to use this.
Yeah, it's a huge responsibility.
One of the reasons, yeah. I mean, you want to go to the shooting range, fine. But when it comes to another human being, you don't want to use it because you can take someone else's life, even though they're the idiot that started.
One of the things that I talk about is when I was an armored car, a guard.
Yep.
And I actually had to pull out my revolver. I was carrying a revolver at that time and pointed at someone, because they were going to rob our armored car.
Or rob the guy coming out, right?
I was protecting my partner.
Right.
And pointing your gun at a human being, pulling the hammer back on a pistol, and having it in your hand, pointing it at someone, is probably the worst feeling I ever felt.
And I remember,
knowing that you could
I remember
take
what
that
you said
person's
that you
life.
thought at the time was like, don't do it.
That's what I said. I didn't want to shoot the kid.
Yep.
He was probably 18, 19 years old, and he did have a pistol tucked in his belt. And if he reached for it and pulled it out, I had to protect my partner.
Yeah.
Who actually is a combat veteran, retired.
Yeah. So, we look at the bit about the guns and Las Vegas, and to me, it's not that much about the guns, because the automatic gun fire that you can hear is more about the conspiracy. So what else happened?
Yes.
For us, that's what I think this is about. It's like, so what really went on? It's really not about guns. It's not about how many he had or what. He had guns, but the fact that you hear a different type of gun means something else was going on. And the fact that people said there were helicopters with no lights on flying around, and I think one woman said that she could literally see like bullets coming out of it. It's like, okay, what was
There's a flash.
What was really going on?
Don't know.
So I don't want to make this about guns, but I want to make it about why don't we know stuff, And they're not, the whole term conspiracy theory, I think that came out of Watergate. Or was Kennedy? It was Kennedy.
2 weeks after. Dude, that terminology was never in the news,
Yeah,
never said
Kennedy.
Conspiracy theory. 2 weeks after it was released by the CIA to the FBI.
Yeah.
That's where that term came from, conspiracy theory. So when your own government is releasing that, are they the conspiratorial people?
Right. And they have, both FBI, CIA, they all have people that are knowledgeable in psychological warfare. So when they come up with a term like that, they come up with it on purpose to use it to deflect stuff.
Isn't that where LSD came from? They were using it in MK Ultra, mind altering.
Yep. And now they're using it for PTSD, and it's working. They literally are giving soldiers who have PTSD,
low doses.
Yeah, it's a medicinal dose, but they're giving them low doses of LSD, and they said within one treatment, a lot of them, the PTSD's gone. Like, gone forever. Not just gone for that day. Gone forever. So, everything has a useful, process to it. But anyways.
We just wanted to, when we start talking about things like this, conspiracy theories, the JFK and RFK, MLK, all these people, even Malcolm X we could get into. They wanted him dead too. It's to open up people's minds, get them to think, get people to research for themselves, and not just take what the news tells you.
Yeah, get off of Twitter, get off of Facebook. Like the world is happening around you, especially for younger people. Mm-hmm. The world is happening around you. Don't be ignorant of what's going on, and don't be ignorant in the greater sense, because I tell you, there are people who are protesting stuff. They're out there with signs, and I've seen the videos where people go up and ask them, like, "What are you doing?" And what does your sign mean? I don't know. I'm just here.
They're paid protesters.
Yeah, they are.
We know that.
And there's a company.
There's a company that will pay you to go out and protest.
Yeah, and because all of a sudden something happens. The next day there's hundreds of people and they all have the same sign. Oh, they didn't make this. They didn't call each other up and say, "Hey, let's make this." Where do these signs come from? There's a business that does that.
Yep.
Maybe one day we'll get into George Soros too.
Yeah, we'd like to.
Because you know how we talk about Hillary being involved in everything.
George Soros is involved.
Soros is his money.
Oh yeah, billions of dollars.
Yeah. So we got Hillary Clinton.
Yep.
Bill Gates, Soros.
Yeah.
So,
We could lose our minds talking about all this stuff. I'm telling you.
we might. Okay.
So we could wrap that up.
Okay. Oh, that's good.
I think we did pretty good covering our covering
we'll
part
pat
two.
ourselves on the back.
Covering part 2 on this. But we do appreciate you. Just a couple
Yeah.
people that wrote some comments, and
Yep.
I
Was
know
it- was
one
it
personally.
Anthony? Was it Anthony?
Yeah. I know him
Anthony,
personally.
way to go, Anthony.
Yeah. He gives me some good tips because I work with him. He's a good guy. Thank you very much again for watching our videos. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, Anthony, because I know you don't like getting notification bells. You told me yourself, but you better do it on this channel.
Yeah, and don't forget, you have a voice, and don't let anyone silence it. And I know we've gotten away from it. We were doing the dumb Democrat of the week. And I know you don't think about it.
I don't. I really don't.
I know, but I was watching, well, you're working now, and I'm watching.
Ilhan Omar.
Omar?
Omar. That's who's my dumb Democrat. Yeah, because she is against, I think Trump is coming out with people that entered into this country legally on a visa, but if they lied on their visa, he wants to get rid of them.
Yeah.
So she lied because she married her brother.
Yeah.
So we want to get rid of Ilhan Omar and send her back to Somalia where she could run to be the general or commissioner of sewage waste treatment plant. Whatever she wants to do, send her back to Somalia because she's an idiot.
Yeah, I vote for that.
Okay, perfect.
Mine's going to be James Clapper.
Okay.
He is not saying anything, but he's getting in more and more trouble. The more stuff that they're digging up, he is involved in a lot of crap. So yeah, we can go on and on, Adam Schiff.
Trapper.
Yeah. I love when they were talking to him and he was sitting there and he was like twisting his eyebrows or whatever. He's in serious crap. But I just hope, people get held accountable. But anyways, all right. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Yeah, and maybe like we joked about maybe doing a bilingual one more time.
Bienvenidos. Welcome to our channel.
Yeah, press 2 for Spanish. We might do that. All right.
That's enough for
All right, thanks.
All right, thanks for watching, folks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.